is Kiki.
And I'm Drace Reed. I'm one of the dancers as well. Newcomer to the Back Basics. Newcomer to Christina.
Technical,
Bossy.
Yeah.
There's hip hop, there's jazz, there's tap.
Ballet.
Yeah.
Everybody definitely was on their gig and willing to try new things.
We had like a month and a half for rehearsals, where we rehearsed, 10 hours a day. We all learned our stunts for 2 hours in the morning time. And
I learned how to walk on stilts. That was one of my biggest challenges for this tour, is walking on stilts. And my dance training helped me, though. I picked it up probably in like two and a half weeks. So.
Didn't come without a couple falls though.
My specialty was fire, so I was basically learning how to twirl fire, how to like basically glide along my arms and my body.
And Kiki, she didn't have to shave. She just had to just whip out that fire and just, you know, work on her little legs.
The girls did some of the swings.
It was hard the first week. I know I came home crying.
Yeah, it was like 3 times a week. It was pretty brutal. Like, we got muscles that we never knew we had.
To watch them come from not actually being scared of it at first, and then they're pretty much professionals up there. They look really good on the swings, and we would go about our 8-hour rehearsal days, and we did that for about a month and a half. Yeah, it was kind of a fast process. Yeah.
it was very quick. We had a week of production too, which was very unheard of for a show like this.
Right.
So that also was
But we pulled it
crazy.
off. We pulled it off. Yeah.
Christina Aguilera is so on
point.
Every single show,
Every single show.
every song, every dance move,
Yeah.
every inch of her makeup is perfect, and she looks at us on stage, and we have nothing but, you know,
We had
admiration to be
there,
like excited to be on point with her, you know, and the
It lifts
audience
us
is
up.
always, it totally
Right.
lifts us up. She encourages us. The first second she hits that note,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's on.
She's a hard worker. It puts pressure on us. I mean, she, you know, doing her thing the way she does puts pressure on us. We have to pull up.
She always makes her marks, but sometimes she's feeling that note a little bit. So you gotta kind of, you know, you just vibe off of her. And when she's feeling it, you gotta feel it with her.
Yep.
Well, we're all family too, and we all have to look out for each other.
And we high five each other when we pass each other. Like everything, it's a really good energy because you gotta continuously read people. Sometimes, I think the other day, Monique had a mishap with her circus skirt, and she has really crazy shoes, and her foot got caught, and she was literally hopping around about to fall. And so you gotta save it, you know, because sometimes they have no hands to do it. You know what I mean? So you just gotta be always ready for Christina, ready for the other dancers that you're sharing the stage with. It gets interesting though. It gets interesting.
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's
it
the
is.
fun
It
part.
is the fun part about it.
I'm just really thankful and grateful to like be a part of Christina's vision because she is an icon.
I think it's a blessing to be able to share the stage with somebody as talented as Christina. You know, we've talked about her vision, her talent, her voice, and just everybody that's involved in the making of this amazing show. Like it's really a blessing.
It's really
And,
special.
yeah.
Christina takes us on a journey throughout the show, and Jamie King kind of set it up in a tour book, and he collaborated with Christina on all these ideas of, you know, what each transition was going to entail and what the vibe of each setup was going to be. I had to then go to Cavalli and, you know, give him some proposals, and he came back to us with all these sketches for the dancers, for her. Like, I think the book had something like 200 different sketches. We broke it down into basically 5, which is the Marlene Dietrich Blonde Venus-inspired white setup. Then we have the flapper 1920s. Then more of like the down south jazz club, which we call juke joint in this show. And then we go into circus, which is where we were able to have the most fun, and there's a lot of transitions in this. So the main outfit is this bodysuit, and it starts out with this and her gold sequin tuxedo coat with tails. She's kind of the ringleader of the circus with her little mini top hat. So this is how it starts, and then, you know, we change throughout the show with different corsets, And then we go, she's still wearing this black bodysuit, and we go into the Candyman sailor theme with little sailor hat. And then last outfit of circus is Lady Marmalade. And everyone, this is a really fun number with bright pink fans and a lot of fun choreography. And this is kind of the number where everyone gets to have the most fun with the costumes and choreography. And the dancers all carry bright pink fans, but you know, Christina's got to hold her microphone, so we had to somehow use the pink fan on her without her having to carry it, so we decided to make a pink bustle feather skirt. And then the last is the encore, which is the more simplified, you know, Christina, the relatable Christina. She didn't want to have a lot of rhinestones, sequins. She just wanted to be her connecting with her fans and the audience. So we just chose a simple, you know, tuxedo button-down shirt. She comes out with, you know, black little bodysuit, and those are the basic 5 segments of the show.
Hey, my name is Steve Solito, and I do hair and makeup for the tour. She is gorgeous, and for a makeup artist, she's an unbelievably versatile face. First of all, she's got gorgeous, gorgeous skin. Really beautiful skin. It helps that she's 26, but she has amazing skin. Great features, really well balanced, and it's versatile. She could really morph into anything, and I've always loved that she's been very creative and unafraid of makeup, and she just loves it, and that's just a part of the whole show and part of the whole image. It's everything to do with creativity. She has changed things along the way a little bit and say, well, what about this? And but she knows what she wants. We're so busy just getting ready, getting her out on stage, coming back and changing her and touching up in between. You couldn't change the look every single night. And this is a very specific time. It's an old Hollywood glamour, and only Hollywood glamour isn't all over the place. It has sort of a red lip standard. And the one thing we definitely morphed on stage is we've darkened her eyes, because over time a simple black line that would be a normal old Hollywood glamour look it doesn't show up enough on stage. We end a show and then we start our makeup right after that, and it takes till the next show to get it done. So it's probably a 27-hour process. Just kidding. No, I would say it's probably I would say 35 minutes for makeup and probably 50 minutes for hair, you know, and then 4 seconds in the quick change to touch up whatever we can touch up. You have no idea how quick that is and what chaotic things happen there. You know, during the show, she is running a marathon. She's running across the stage, up and down the stairs. Actually, if people knew how much she was running, they truly would be amazed at what she does, even off stage. And yeah, she definitely perspires, and you know, her makeup runs. Sometimes her eye tears, or she sweats. It happens. You just pat what you can and get her back out on stage as quickly as possible. You don't have all day to fuss and make everything look perfect each time. You just do what you can do.
Hi, I'm Ray Islas, the percussionist in the band. I've been with Christina since 2002, I think, right? 2002, 2003. It's been amazing. Amazing. It gets better and better.
My name is Brian Fraser Moore, and I've been with Christina since I think the same time, maybe What a Girl Wants tour. It's been crazy. Been through a couple of tours. It's a great show. Gotta check it out.
I'm Ethan Farmer, the bass player. I've been with her for about 5 years now. And there's gonna be 5 more, and 5 more after that.
Working with Christina is that she's a trendsetter. She's not afraid to take risks. She's not afraid to say what she hears. She's not afraid to go into different genres of music. A lot of the music that we play now is pretty much a flapper style, or requires me to use brushes, or just a whole gang of stuff that I probably wouldn't imagine I would play with the pop artist. So it's great that she's not afraid to to go there.
We play so many different kinds of music, which enables me to stretch out and try and play different other styles too. So it keeps me going. It keeps me wanting to experiment and listen to all different kinds of music too to better myself.
I never thought in my life I would be playing with an artist like such Christina Aguilera. I, studied and I expected to be in jazz clubs and stuff, and here we are traveling the world playing with one of the greatest artists that requires so much out of my own horn and out of my own study and technique and all of us in the horn section. And I never expected that to happen. And she is great. She is a great musician. First and foremost, she is a great, great musician.
The strip tour, for me, musically, I was playing more electronics, more modern sounds. And on this tour, I saw myself having to go back to playing more of the authentic, well, not authentic, but more of the old school 40s, 50s approach to my instrument.
Just from the choice of drums that I used, just from the sounds from the first tour was really pop, and the second tour she started digging into herself and evolving in her own, which she liked, and this is pretty much crazy. This is like playing with Count Basie almost. It's like it's like a evolution of music that I've had a journey with Christina from the start. I think I've pretty much touched on everything I can.
I'm breaking a sweat on this one.
Man,
I know
me
you
too.
were. Ethan with all his dance moves.
Yeah, like I never worked so hard before. Like this one, I'm playing a bunch of basses. I'm switching about 5 basses. I'm dancing, and I took dancing classes before we started this tour, and I'm really in shape. So now I'm a dancer. So not only are you going to see me playing bass, but you're going to see me dancing.
I'm Sean Favors. I'm a background vocalist.
I'm Sasha Allen, and I'm a background vocalist. I've been singing with her since 2004.
Hello, my name is Erica Jerry. I've been singing with Christina for, maybe a year now? Yeah.
I'm the newest singer. I started in September. This is my first world tour with her, so.
I find it inspiring that she's able to, no matter how she's feeling, put on the same show every day.
Oh, yeah.
She never gives less, and she never takes away depending on what her mood is. If anything, it's at a level, and then it gets better.
Yeah.
Depending on if she feels better. But if she feels worse, she never.
You would never
know.
see that.
You would never know.
And I know for me, I take like pointers from her every night, like just the way she moves on stage, just the way that her nuances, just everything about her when she's performing is just, oh my God, it's awesome.
Her stuff is very high and it's very powerful, so you have to make sure you're very healthy and make sure that you get lots of rest because it's very demanding material that she has her songs.
So I can't party a lot. We have to like stay in, and make sure we're vocally rested,
If she's diverse, we have to be diverse too because of the background vocals. We have to be able to complement her.
You have to be able to change your style of singing. Yeah. Because you can't sing one way on a certain song and then go to another song and sound the same because it's not going to work.
Well, I have a daughter, and actually when I was pregnant, I was on the road with another artist, so it's a trip. You go through lots of emotional changes, and also just there's something growing in your stomach and it's smushing your diaphragm, so singing becomes a whole lot harder. And when I just watch her and I see that the show has not changed at all, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Because it requires a lot of support from everybody. Yeah. Just emotional support, just above anything else, because you're on a roller coaster and it's a whole nother thing that's happening on the side, but you still have to do this show. Right. And it becomes more difficult. Especially as time goes on, because baby gets bigger and bigger.
She never stops though. She never you can never tell that she's going through anything, because every night it's just
she's on it. So
I find that sometimes when I'm really tired and I've been singing really hard and we're almost through the show but we just haven't made it yet, and then I think about all the songs that she has to sing live.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, well,
We
stop
gotta
complaining
yeah.
because she's singing everything, so let me just try to make it through.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot.
It
takes
does.
a whole lot, so.
And it's an honor, definitely, to be on the same stage with such a excellent performer. Talent is just, it's amazing. So I know I'm blessed, and I'm just glad to be a part of the experience.
My name is Rob Lewis, and I'm musical director for Christina Aguilera. Musical director Ricky Minor called me to come in and audition. Then this little petite woman comes out, and she's watching the band audition. She's watching them audition, and I'm like enjoying it because I'm seeing my homies. They sound real good, so I'm like, oh man, I know him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm having a good time just at the audition. And then it was my turn to get up. I didn't know the songs, I didn't know anything, but I was so happy to just be up and playing, you know what I'm saying, because I liked her music. And then my audition was over, and she went in the room, and she brought Ricky Minor in the room. And then Ricky Minor came out, and he said, well, she definitely wants you. And that's how I met Christina Aguilera. We went into rehearsals, and Ricky was running it, and he was coming up with ideas, but there was a couple of spots where he needed some interludes and some things, some segues or whatever. So he asked my opinion, and he told me he was going to ordain me as the musical director for her, you know, on the road. And so that's how our relationship started to develop. And when we were nearing the end of the European tour, she was getting ready to finish touring, but she had the Grammys, and she wanted to do the Grammys. And she wanted to put it in my hands as far as an arranger. And she asked me what did I think, and we had meetings over her house, and with Ron Fair and herself and myself, we kind of came up with this idea for the Grammys, and that's when she really stretched out and trusted me with things outside of the tour, you know. And so that's where our collaborating relationship came about, you know, switching ideas and different things like that. Later on that year, she got ready to do another tour, but this tour was going to be totally different than anything else that she has ever done. She was studying jazz, she was studying blues, and she wanted to go back to that period. And this is like summer 2004. She had invited me over to her house, and we had a meeting, and she played me 25 CDs of this influence and this influence, and some things were Millie Jackson, some things were Eartha Kitt, other things were Nat King Cole, and other things were Nina Simone. And I want to do a song like this, and I want it to flip like this, and I want you to take, maybe you could take this. And she started orchestrating her vision, her tour, you know, what she wanted it to be, and it was going to be this, you know, ode to old school, you know, the roots of jazz and blues and all of these things, you know. And so it was a hard task, and she asked me to rearrange some of her biggest hits, you know what I'm saying? But I want this one to be reggae style, and I want this one to have, you know, this Millie Jackson feel to it, and, you know, and hit me with some ideas tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the pressure was on. So that's where I really started developing as an arranger how to, you know, do it, but do it really quick. And it has to be, your arranging skill has to be at a point where the first things that you pump out are hot. So I have to make sure, like Christina makes me study, you know what I'm saying? So having to be a musical director for such an artist like Christina, I've had to study other types of music daily, like all day, because you never know when Christina's gonna call and say, I'm feeling burlesque. And it's like, okay, I've never done burlesque before, let me study this. Okay, let me look at this and this and that. And she'll say, go to the movie Chicago and study that, or you know, Moulin Rouge, and go to that, and I want you to study, and I have to rent these movies and these soundtracks and study all this music, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to accomplish an idea or a vision that she has musically. And I can honestly say that it's because of Christina. She's pushed me to be versatile in that sense. With that 2004 tour that we were putting together, that was incredible. That was the injection of us bringing horns into the picture. That was when she said, I want to have a 4-piece horn section, I want 6 background singers, and I want it to be all live. Christina went into the studio with Herbie Hancock and did the song, A Song for You, a Donny Hathaway remake, and she trusted me to come in and give her some ideas and, you know, pointers and like kind of produce her vocal for that song. So we were doing things like that in 2004. When we went into 2005, 2006, and when we actually went to Africa, brought the whole band, 4-piece horn section and everything, and it proved that it could be done. An hour and a half, you know what I'm saying, of just live music, great music, and a great voice. And so from there, we lead all the way up to her evolution to the Back to Basics album, and where that was going and the different things. And she would play me song after song after song after song, and I would be mesmerized because it was incredible music. It was, you know, from respected producers, from Linda Perry all the way to DJ Premier, all the way to Mark Ronson and Big Tank and all of these great producers and writers. And I was part of that process. She brought me in to be, you know, a part of her album, which was the most extreme honor that I could have ever gotten in my life. You know what I'm saying? Was to be part of her recording process. And so it was there that we really developed a studio relationship, you know what I'm saying, and a friendship at that point. And from there, I grew as a producer and as an arranger. So it was a whole other school for me in this Christina Aguilera journey. And then came time for us to put it up and mount it live. And that process was incredible because she would call out things like, for the MTV Movie Awards, I want to do this 1.5-minute jazz big band interlude. I want it to sound like this and this and this and this and this. Make it happen. Have an idea for me. I don't want to do Come On Over the same way. I want to do it, you know, I don't want it to be so major and pretty. I want it to have soul. I want to, instead of, hey boy, don't you know I got something going on. I don't want it to sound candy. I want to go, hey boy, don't you know I got something going on. Like, hey boy, like soul. I want soul, Rob. I want you to, you know, maybe Ray Charles and maybe some Marvin Gaye and you know what I'm saying, this and that. And with those instructions, I have to take all of that and then go home, and while I'm driving home, I'm trying to think of ideas, and when I get home, I'm thinking of ideas and driving to rehearsal, and then finally get in front of the band and say, this is what Christina told me she wants. And we would go and craft it. I have some of the best musicians in the world around me at all times or whatever, so you know, we were able to make the vision happen. But it all starts with a very talented artist, woman, businesswoman, individual, who just will stand for her vision and what it is that she sees and what it is she wants to do. And it helps me evolve. It helps me evolve.
We met about, I think, I don't remember the exact, maybe 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. At first it was really just a work relationship, and we became good friends, and then I moved out here, and we really were kind of best friends first. I think, you know, of course, I had feelings for her from the beginning, but it didn't really start maybe about a year until our friendship that we took it to that kind of that next level. Christina's my wife, and I love her. To me, she's just Christina. And she's not this, you know, big global superstar. When I see her, you know, when she's on the stage, I also see her when her makeup's off and she's laying in her pajamas, you know. And that's really the woman that I've fallen in love with. We're trying to build a family together and live our lives together, and that's really what my focus is on. Really, what really helps it is really how grounded Christina is. She's really just about her work, about her music, and about her family. And that's, you know, that's what I love most about her. We try to always make sure we don't, or we're not apart for more than like 2 weeks at a time. So if she's on tour, then I'll get on a plane and I'll go see her. And then, you know, there's times when she's not on tour and and she has some off time and I'm working and she'll join me. I mean, you just have to really make the effort to make it work. You know, we never let ourselves go more than 2 weeks, mostly because it was pretty overwhelming to see, you know, the woman that I love up there doing what she loves to do and, you know, taking control of the stage and having, you know, my child up there with her. And it was those were moments that were really just incredible to me to feel that. I was actually in New York on a business trip, and I was there for one day. I had left, I think she told me on a Friday, I had left Thursday night on the red eye to go to New York, and I had some meetings, and I was going to turn around and come right back to LA. And my father actually picked me up from my last meeting to drive me to the airport, and she called me while I was in the car. And of course, I was so excited, but the thing is, I didn't want to say anything to my father yet, so I had to kind of control my excitement for a minute, and then I remember I got out of the car and I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. I called her right back, and I think I just screamed in the middle of the airport. People probably thought I was insane. On Back to Basics, I really got to see her conceptualize everything, you know, talk to me about what certain things in her life, what she wanted to write about. So to really see it from the beginning, from like the first spark in her head, you know, I got to see it when she was writing in her diary about certain things. And then, you know, she records the record and that all comes to life. And then you actually see her show come to life, you know, and what her vision is for the songs. It's pretty amazing to watch the evolution of everything. But a lot of those songs really kind of speak to her experience as a daughter and what she had gone through and how she wants to change that for her family. So it almost kind of, you know, ending it with her pregnancy almost kind of brought it full circle in a sense. I've actually really never in my life met anybody that works as hard as she does. And it's really actually inspiring just to, in my own life and my own business, to be around someone that's that detail-oriented. The most amazing thing about her really is that her voice is obviously, you know, undeniably incredible. But her voice is really, you know, 10% of her talents. She's a visual artist. She's a performance artist. You know, she works really hard to make sure that she's the best at what she does. Every detail from her hair to her clothing to where the lights are set up to the band it's all her. She never gives up, and it doesn't matter. She could be sick, she can be pregnant, she can be, you know, it doesn't matter. When she comes home and she's not working, she's very good at turning it off and leaving it all there, and we get to really spend our time together. And, you know, we make effort to make sure, you know, we have our little date nights, and, you know, or like Sunday is our day to do absolutely nothing. And, you know, we don't take any calls, we don't take any meetings, and it's just our day to relax together. So we definitely make our time to shut it off, you know, but when it's on, it's with her, it's definitely on. We met about, I think, I don't remember the exact, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. At first it was really just a work relationship, and we became good friends, and then I moved out here, and we really were kind of best friends first. I think, you know, of course, I had feelings for her from the beginning, but it didn't really start maybe about a year until our friendship that we took it to that kind of that next level. Christina's my wife, and I love her. To me, she's just Christina. And she's not this, you know, big global superstar. When I see her, you know, when she's on the stage, I also see her when her makeup's off and she's laying in her pajamas, you know. And that's really the woman that I've fallen in love with. We're trying to build a family together and live our lives together, and that's really what my focus is on. Really, what really helps it is really how grounded Christina is. She's really just about her work, about her music, and about her family. And that's, you know, that's what I love most about her. We try to always make sure we don't, or we're not apart for more than like 2 weeks at a time. So if she's on tour, then I'll get on a plane and I'll go see her. And then, you know, there's times when she's not on tour and she has some off time and I'm working and she'll join me. I mean, you just have to really make the effort to make it work. You know, we never let ourselves go more than 2 weeks, mostly because we can't. I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those things you miss each other too much. Right before we left for this last leg of the tour, we found out that she was pregnant. So, you know, a little worried about what might happen with such a, you know, that kind of grueling work that she does. And she was in Southeast Asia and Australia, which is, you know, so much farther away and so much harder to get to. So coming back and forth wasn't really much of an option. So I actually made the decision to just go on the whole last leg of the tour, which is great. I got to see everything she does from start to finish, and really get to be in her work environment and see how she there. And it was those were moments that were really just incredible to me to feel that. I was actually in New York on a business trip, and I was there for one day. I had left, I think she told me on a Friday, I had left Thursday night on the red eye to go to New York, and I had some meetings, and I was going to turn around and come right back to LA. And my father actually picked me up for my last meeting to drive me to the airport, and she called me while I was in the car. And of course I was so excited, but the thing is I didn't want to say anything to my father yet, so I had to kind of control my excitement for a minute. And then I remember I got out of the car and I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. I called her right back, and I think I just screamed in the middle of the airport. People probably thought I was insane. On Back to Basics, I really got to see her conceptualize everything, talk to me about what certain things in her life, what she wanted to write about. So to really see it from the beginning, from like the first spark in her head, I got to see it when she was writing in her diary about certain things. And then, she records the record, and that all comes to life. And then you actually see her show come to life, and what her vision is for the songs. It's pretty amazing to watch the evolution of everything. But a lot of those songs really kind of speak to her experience as a daughter and what she had gone through and how she wants to change that for her family. So it almost kind of, ending it with her pregnancy almost kind of brought it full circle in a sense. I've actually really never in my life met anybody that works as hard as she does. And it's really actually inspiring just to, in my own life and my own business, to be around someone that's that detail-oriented. The most amazing thing about her really is that her voice is obviously, undeniably incredible, but her voice is really, 10% of her talents. She's a visual artist, she's a performance artist. She works really hard to make sure that she's the best at what she does. Every detail, from her hair to her clothing to where the lights are set up to the band it's all her. She never gives up, and it doesn't matter. She could be sick, she can be pregnant, she can be, it doesn't matter. When she comes home and she's not working, she's very good at turning it off and leaving it all there, and we get to really spend our time together. And we make effort to make sure, we have our little date nights, and, or like Sunday is our day to do absolutely nothing. And, we don't take any calls, we don't take any meetings, and it's just our day to relax together. So we definitely make our time to shut it off, but when it's on, it's with her, it's definitely on.
To go in and plan every detail of this tour, it kind of starts almost a year in advance for me, basically, just because I'm such a visual, artist. I love experimenting and coming up with new looks and ideas for everything that I do. So while I'm in the studio recording the music, I really think about the theatrical aspects that I love to have involved in my show, to the props, to the costumes for everyone, everything I am thinking about while I'm actually recording a song. So considering, that along with coming up with the concept, going back to old of vintage, Hollywood glamour, going to the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the great singers of those time periods, to the great beauty icons of those time periods, it was really important for me to really get into that whole world and headspace and bring it to life. My whole purpose for that is to really put on a super entertaining show that's going to let people be able to escape, and that's what I think entertainment should be about. That's why I like to bring so many visuals to the table. I want to take everybody on a journey. I want them to use their imaginations. I want them to escape whatever's been going on in their day, their week, whatever's troubling them. I want this to be their form of escape, at least for the next 2 hours. Whenever I go in with a clean slate to start fresh for every album, I really kind of go into my creative cave. That's why I sort of, I do take time in between records, a few years time, hoping not that long for the next one, because I kind of have a great idea for where I'm going in the next direction. But every time I go to start a record, you know, I definitely take everything that I've kind of learned. I kind of like to take that time for myself just to kind of learn who I've grown into, the person that I've become since the last time I put out a record. It's really important for me because I like to really get as personal with it as possible. And doing a record that was purely based upon my inspiration and love for it's really nice to have that team of people around me that can bring that vision to life. It's fun for me to interact with my dancers on stage. We have our own little secret language. You know, if something were to fall, or, you know, if my mic pack was coming down, I know that they have my back. You know, Paul's come through for me so many times for this perfectly. They'll do a little flip or a back turn and come right around and just like pop my mic wire back in my pack for me and make it look like it was just part of the choreography itself. So they're really talented, and I just had to take a minute and talk about them because it really helps to have people that enjoy the stage as much as you do. I love the moment where I see Tiana in the beginning of Makes Me Want to Pray. Her hair's flying everywhere. She has a moment after Marcel does his turn where, I mean, I just can't help but smile every time I would catch her from below the stage because I would have to rise up for my entrance for this song. But just watching her get into this song was always just a thrill for me because you can tell she's in it. She really is feeling what she's doing. Lady Marmalade, again, from where I have to enter for this particular song is from underneath the stage. So I would always look up, and I got an amazing view of Marcel as he would come up the back stairs as I would watch him from the lift where I would be revealed. And I would get a great view of his whole, like, he did a little stomp, 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 kick thing, and did a little snap, I think, and he just did an amazing, amazing job of pulling what I was going for, exactly what I wanted. As a performer, there's nothing better for me to be on that stage and sharing it with people who truly love to be on that stage and know that this is their moment to just express the one thing that they love to do more than anything else in this world, and that's to perform and to get lost in this music, and for the 90 minutes that you have on this stage to make the most of them and let the audience really feel you and feel where you're coming from. For me personally, you know, people ask me sometimes, you know, what, out of all your changes that you've been through, what is the one that's most you? And I honestly can never pick just one state of my life or one episode or one album that I've picked out as being purely me, because I'm the kind of person, and I take this to my artistry too, where I really put whatever's in my heart or whatever I'm going through there out on my sleeve, out in my lyrics. You know, it just comes out of me as creativity. I am always looking for change. I think that's the point of life, you know, is to constantly evolve and change as a human being, to grow, learn from your mistakes, learn from your past, learn from everything around you and be inspired by it and grow from it and try to become better human beings, better artists throughout it all. So for me, you know, it's just a part of who I am. Everything on the tour really took on a special meaning once I found out the news that I was pregnant. Just knowing that I was up there, kind of not alone. Well, really not alone. You know, I was there. I felt almost like I had a little teammate inside of me. You know, on my worst days when I was too tired, I felt like I had to do it for little one in there, and little one was egging me on. So I felt like we were in it together every step of the way. So it always kind of put a smile on my face. And if I didn't do it for me, I was going to do it for this one. This is a new chapter in my life, having just bought the new house. It's a family house. It's exciting. It's really exciting. And then, you know, he'll be my little roadie on the next tour. He'll be right there with mommy, and, you know, I definitely want to take him on the road with me because there's no stopping me.